and welcome to Toyfarerapy. I am your host, Dr. Myron Toyfare. I am joined by my wonderful YouTube wife, Mrs. Dr. Myron Toyfare, our new receptionist, Corey, and our wonderful guest, the man that Jarmar has butchered his name on Patreon for the past year, Tavin The Caveman. How's
What's
it
up,
going,
everybody?
man?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on here. I know we've chatted a lot on like Instagram, and you always are so kind and like shout us out and stuff when you do your follow Fridays and stuff like that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. And also like you've been in the chat too on our Wednesday live streams. Like, and it always catches me off guard because I know who you are, and then I read your name and I have a struggle to have a straight face because it's
Yeah, I like to drop in there randomly and just say what's up and try and catch up with all your guys' shenanigans. They're pretty fun. I think it's pretty fun to hang around.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
so let's get into this. Let's take a deep dive into the psyche of your collection here. So, what is your first like memory growing up of an action figure?
First off, this is such an awesome question, man. You threw me into like memory lane, and I really loved it. So I grew up in Mexico. That's where I was born. And my first memories are just straight up of all those knockoffs that you would imagine at a flea market. And
that's fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Those are it. I didn't really like understand the proper like official release of an action figure until I got older, you know. But like as a kid, and you see the toy that you want being represented in front of you, like it kind of does the job. So like a bunch of knockoffs from like animes that I used to watch down there, like what are those called? The Saint Seiya, you know, Knights of the Zodiac.
Yeah.
Thundercats. What's another one that I saw a lot of knockoffs out of? You know, stuff like that. It wasn't until I came to the States where Toy Biz just took over my all of my attention. Toy Biz is Iron Man wave, or the Marvel's Power Hour, the Iron Man TV show.
Okay.
Those are the official ones, you know, like official release toys that I do recall, and those were like some of my favorites. Titanium Man and Hulkbuster were two of my favorite from that line.
So now, I'm definitely curious more about like growing up with the knockoff stuff. So how did that like affect and like shape what you know collected as a kid and like growing up and like even into an adulthood? Like,
interesting. I think as a kid, it did the best it could. Like it did its job. You know, you're not worried about certain things when you're a kid with a toy.
mm-hmm.
So if I had my Lino, I was happy. You know, if I saw one with better articulation, you know, of course I was going to be a little bit more happy. But I guess like that. I mean, yeah, I guess that's how that shaped me. Like it just helped me build a bigger world, you know, just by having all sorts of weird representations. Like, and you know, it's not just like the actual like Lion-O or Saint Pegasus. It was like weird spider robot man. So like the imagination just doubled because of all the weird knockoffs.
Right.
But I felt like it's affected me in a pretty good way because it's inspired me to be more creative instead of just staying like one lane. And
yeah, like
you know what I mean?
You didn't have the guardrails of here's Marvel, here's DC, here's Power Rangers. Like it was almost a lot more broad because of that.
So as a child, were you like, I just have like a lion guy? Like at that moment, you didn't really know what Thundercats were, and you kind of like eased into that later on, type of thing.
There were a few occasions like that because like I didn't know who Rambo was, so I recall having a Rambo action figure before knowing what it actually was. But Thundercats and Knights of the Zodiac, I actually watched those animes when I was living down there, so I at least put those two together when I was a kid. Given that was when I was like 6, I moved up here when I was 7.
Right.
So,
do you still have any of them?
That's what I was
I don't, man. I wish I did. I wish I had those. It'd be so great. I looked them up though before on Amazon, and because they were knockoffs. How do I know that's the actual one?
That's fair.
Like, oh, well, that looks like something I would enjoy now, but I don't know if that's what it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, man.
My favorite knockoff that I've ever seen was the RoboCop that's called Robert Cop. Like just the name.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the names get you too. Sometimes it's just worth buying it because of the name.
I would love to like just go through and just see a bunch of the strange like knockoff names from all the different countries that they have, like especially like the weird stuff like the Robert Cop, because I've seen people find that at conventions. I'd love to see like some of the other ones too, just to see what kind of creative ways they got around that licensing like stuff.
Yeah,
that's so wild. So then, like, you know, fast forward, you're 7, you've moved into the States. You said Toy Biz kind of took over. That Iron Man wave was, you know, your kind of first big one. Like, what other stuff do you remember, like, from that point on, were like getting into?
you know, I remember Nerf was a big thing when I moved up here. Like a lot of the kids like playing the Nerf blasters. I thought that was a lot of fun because, you know, who didn't like a nice action movie and like to, you know, play cops and robbers, you know. Um, but I know that I was a big Hot Wheels fan too.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Hot Wheels was a big collection. I had like 300 of them or something when I was a little kid, and I felt like the richest kid in the world because of, you know, how many cars you had.
Yeah.
Did you have all like the fancy carrying cases where it had all the individual slots for each car and everything?
I know I would make my own. I would make my own. They wouldn't last, but I thought they were badass, you know, just because it was like mine. But
that's funny. I had like a friend who was like we'd say like the rich kid because he had like Sega Saturn and stuff like that. But out of all of us, we had like our Hot Wheel cars. He was the only one with a lot of like the tracks that like actually were the kits that came together. So we would take our cars over and be like, we're playing on the actual tracks. We just had like the random ones. You just had a bunch of red and the connectors, or the orange and the connector ones. But he actually had like the real sets. I was like, wow.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. I would only take my Matchbox outside. I would only leave my Hot Wheels inside. I was bougie like that. I was like, no, you can take those out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good times though. But back to Toy Biz though, because they, like I said, they just took over my imagination. Because I also used to like wrestling, and Toy Biz did a lot of wrestling action figures for WCW back in the day. They were some of my favorite wrestlers. I mean, favorite action figures, because obviously my favorite wrestlers were who they're based on. So yeah, those were some of my first wrestling and first toy experiences that I think really shaped where I was gonna go with it.
I'm glad you brought wrestling, because like my first wrestling action figure I ever had growing up was the Hollywood Hulk Hogan from that like Toy Biz line. Where he was just like really, really, really tan, and he had like the tattered like rubber shirt, and he just kind of had this like the like veins in his neck, and he looked like he was like taking a poop. Like,
yeah.
I wish wrestling resembled those old toys, like just, you know, like Hollywood Hogan comes with like a fire hydrant that like shoots at somebody, you know.
Oh man, the old WWF like super sweat like ones were like full of water.
I was just thinking of those. Yeah, those were crazy. Yeah.
Oh man, they had some really weird gimmicks for those toys back then. And it's just so funny because like they weren't like you expect those gimmicks for like superhero action figures, because you know it's superhero right, but like some of the stuff they'd give these wrestlers, it's like I don't remember seeing that on TV.
Right, like come up with a reason to buy the same, you know, wrestler over and over again.
That's the thing, though, is it's not like today. They would go through and make a whole new version of that figure. It wasn't like today where they just reuse the same figure and add a new accessory.
Yeah, so, it would be like like a Gatling gun.
Yeah,
like it'd be wacky.
Like I had like 4 different Goldberg figures, and not a single one of them was like. I think there was 2 that were the same, just because they were different like series. One came with like a giant barbell, and the other one was a part of like a thing where you got like a locker that like broke, or a trash can that broke, or something like that. Right. But everything else, it was like very like they would improve on the figure at least a little bit. Oh man!
No, yeah, they had some good ones. Yeah, I don't really know what many more toy companies that I like went through, or I guess action figures. but for me, when I was younger, I wasn't just like a big fan of, like Marvel and stuff like that and all that jazz. I did appreciate all the Batman toys that they had, but I was kind of into those like weirder toys. Like, I don't know if you remember the movie Virus, but there was a really nice toy line that was made for that movie, and it was some of the coolest stuff ever. If you remember the movie, it's about this virus that gets sent to like this Russian ship that takes over the ship, and it starts creating cyborgs that are made out of like human and machine pieces from the ship. The movie's is probably like god awful now, but those toys though, oh my god, they were some of the coolest, most gory toys I've ever had, and I loved them.
Resource made those.
Yeah.
They were like, when they came out, it was crazy how many licenses they got at once, and it just was blowing everybody away. And then it was like, as quickly as they came, they were gone. It just like disappeared.
It's so wild.
Do you know
figures back then?
What's that?
Oh, I was gonna ask. Do you know if they also made the toys for the Mummy, or if that was also like Toy Biz or Mattel?
I want to say somebody else. I can't remember who that was, but Resource made like Duke Nukem, the Duke Nukem figures, and it had like Pig Cop.
I'm sorry, did you say Pig Cop?
Yeah,
that's a little on the nose.
It was a cop, also a pig. I mean, they weren't too creative with the names of the Duke Nukem villains. One was Octobrain. It was definitely an octopus that was also a brain.
It was the 90s. Back then, it was a lot. Okay, it was the most they could do.
That was top tier, man. I remember thinking, we're never getting better than this. This is like the best looking action figures ever.
I was gonna bring up your wonderful catchphrase earlier when he was talking about like, oh yeah, when he'd find like a figure of new articulation, like he'd be like, oh yeah, let's upgrade. It's like, yep, never getting better than this.
That's it.
I feel like the first time I ever said that was that Toy Biz, the Marvel Legends Sabretooth. I was like, this is figure.
You talking about the newest one?
No, I think he's talking about the old one with they used to have the fingers and stuff, the Toy Biz one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like his fingernails would always break off because they were like kind of fragile.
Yeah.
But you just always progressively like moving that bar, and your brain goes, okay, this is the one that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Right, like the current one, it's like, how could they get better than this? And I'm just waiting till like another year for them to show off an even better one. So I just looked it up. The Mummy action figures were from Toy Island. I have no idea who that company is, because I'm assuming you're talking about the Brendan Fraser movie, right?
Yeah, that movie.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I was like, yeah, because I looked those up, and yeah, it's Toy Island, 1998. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't recall hearing their name much anymore. I don't know if they still make toys. I'm kind of looking around to see if anything has their stamp on it, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that company, so I have to imagine they either like rebranded, got bought out, or moved on to something else. Which, with a name like Toy Island, I can't imagine you're moving on to making like sneakers or something like that at that point.
Turns out they make small bolts for engines.
They actually make all of the microchips you need for your iPhones and your and your PlayStations.
I see.
All right, so let's fast forward here, because we've gone through
Sure.
your childhood. What kind of stuff are you collecting now?
These days, I've slowed down a lot, you guys. I'm on an action figure diet. I know it's not popular, but I'm on a diet right now. But if I do get some stuff here and there, it's gonna be some Jada stuff, just because it's a new line. I don't have any of those, any representation of the Street Fighter characters in my collection at all. So I'm really enjoying that. Not only that, but it's Jada. They're doing everything right to call you to like make you their sweetheart. Like the last figs that I bought was an M Bison, a Guile, and a Player 2 Ken, because I wanted him to match my Player 1 Ryu. But from enjoying the video games from my childhood to collecting that now more than anything, that's kind of where I'm at. The occasional clearance aisle and more religion here and there and NECA, but that's about it.
I feel like the clearance
What about
aisles
you
aren't
guys?
that good like recently.
Been trickier now.
Oh, you know how I'm on that diet? All right, so I've been on that diet for like a minute now. So anything in the clearance aisle is probably something I don't got. So like, I'm
That's a
be
good point.
happy. You know
You're
what
like
I mean?
these couple McFarlane figures, a few Jurassic Park figures, like
You know,
maybe some wrestlers if you're
Make me
lucky.
feel rich when I go in the clearance aisle and find the stuff that I like. You know, because I'm like, oh dang, I can get you now.
Yeah, my Target clearance aisle is always just Funko Pops. Like all of those
Mm.
like big ones with like the comic book background every single time. It's just like those, and I'm like, well, I don't want that. I want action figures.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, Ollie's just had like a half off sale of all their toy stock. They said like half off, and
they still couldn't sell those Eternal figures.
no, they couldn't. They couldn't sell the Eternals. But I did pick up a couple of like Black Series figures, and then I got home and I was like, why did I buy these? Like I was like, I don't need dude in an officer's uniform number 50. Like, but I bought him. Now I have him.
That's how they. Well, I mean, in your defense, it was probably $4, right?
It was like $4.50.
Yeah, so at least it's only $4.50. Like at that point, you're paying a fifth of what the retail cost is.
Yeah.
I just I only go to Ollie's occasionally, right? Well, actually, I have friends that hook me up with Ollie purchases because I don't live in that part of the U.S. But if I do shop for them, it's something that I'm going to do like an army builder for. Like same GI Joe character. All right, cool. I'm just going to mod it with a few different paint apps, and that's it. But I do love Ollie's for that, just to get some good fodder and army building. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of cheap little cheap toys because I need to work on customizing. I don't know if you guys are dabbling in any of that. I know that you do occasionally. I saw your repainting video at least of the Ryu and Ken swapping the bodies. I think the heads.
It was player 1 and player 2 Ryu. So I got rid of the like super jaundice orange skin Ryu body, and then I had to paint the headband and switch out the geese.
The gloves, right?
It was the geese because the one's like a light gray and the other one's white, and I'm like, well, it's like noticeable enough for me, so I'm gonna swap it out.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of why I want to buy some cheap toys from Ollie's, just so I can learn how to customize them. And they're gonna be cheap, so I might as well just have fun learning.
You don't want to chop up a figure that's like worth $30 or $40 for sure.
Listen here,
right? No,
you keep those personal attacks to yourself.
Getting called out.
I did not just recently chop up two $35 NECA turtle figures to make a different Donatello with the plan of doing it again with a different Leonardo figure.
Oh snap! All right.
Yeah.
Well, are you happy with how it turned out?
Oh yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out. Like the only thing I had issues with is so for context, it's the NECA Last Ronin Donatello. You can see it, but like the one back here, because I bought an extra one, so I have the original one. He has the white gi. It's like what he's actually wearing in the comic. Always thought that was a dumb thing that all the other turtles are in like battle gear and he's in a fucking gi. First off, at that point, like you're supposed to be a ninja and you're in a bright white like tunic. Like, how are you hiding anywhere?
Right.
Like,
I believe it was snowing.
Yeah,
right?
but like he was also wearing that in the city, wasn't he? He was wearing it the entire series.
No, I mean I guess they really only showed him in the scene where spoilers, the final for each of the turtles.
Yeah.
So I think he was in that one where he was on horseback and yeah.
Well, but they showed him because he in the first issue when they did the flashback, him and Leo were bringing Raph or something in, and I'm pretty sure he's wearing it there too.
That's fair.
Well, they had to sell you the action figure, so they had to have it in more pages.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I went and I took the Leonardo figure. I repainted his pants. I added some of the like pouches and shoulder pads and stuff from the original Donnie to that. So that way, it's like different enough from the Leonardo figure that like it doesn't look like I literally just swapped the heads. And then now I took what's it called, the Night Watchers version of Leonardo, and I took all his armor and stuff off, and I'm gonna paint a few things and get another Leonardo so I can make a Dark Leo from like the like times when he's like joined the Foot Clan, but in that Last Ronin style.
Maybe just hold off from buying all those figures, because I think those new ones that are going to be black, white, and red, I think those might stick around for a while.
Well,
those can't possibly have.
It's a little late for that, Corey.
Yeah,
like, did you not?
It's a little late for me to hold off on that.
I'll be honest. My $35-$40 action figure comment I didn't mean to attack you, Michael.
I'm just saying. It felt a little personal.
It just writes itself.
Just collateral. That's all. It's just collateral.
Yeah.
Oh snap.
So let's talk a little bit more about customizing, because you've got your dioramas behind you. So like, are you still dabbling with those and like building new ones along with your custom figures, or?
To be honest, I was kind of playing around with these earlier, but yes, I'm definitely still making some dioramas, you guys. I am open to commissions. I got a few on the list, and I'll get to those. I swear, people, if you're watching this and you have a commission from me, I swear I'm gonna get to it. I swear to God. But yeah, I make these just because earlier I showed you the armory.
Mm-hmm.
I could not stop thinking of, God dang it, I need somewhere to put all these extra weapons, because they're just like, there's nowhere for your weapons, your collection, unless you're putting them in a box because you want to put them away. So I thought, that's it. I got to make an armory. So that's the last one that I made for myself, and I'm really happy with it. Learned a few things, but I'm happy with it. Like the next thing, I want to add lights on the ceilings.
That'd be nice.
In a different area.
That's one
right now.
That's always like seems so challenging, but I want to like be able to do, because I have dios, but like I feel like they don't like, they need like a light or something, because like Vincent Vasco Toys, he did the warehouse one for me, and he installed lights in that one, but some of my other ones I have like don't have that, and I'm like, it'd be kind of cool if I knew how to do that.
Yeah, this is a wonderful company. I think it's called Mayberry. I think it's Mayberry, but it's basically a 1/12 scale company. They sell accessories and stuff, a lot of lighting, and they occasionally come out with some bangers, like just LED lights that you just need to put like a little battery into it. But that's one of my favorite companies to go to for lighting. I'm still trying to figure it out, because there's so many different ways you can light a project up that I don't know which one I like yet, to like stick with. But it's really fun figuring it out. Like you would think it's more difficult to set up a diorama, but honestly, it's just a little bit of patience, a little bit of planning, and just kind of like getting it done.
3 things I am not good at.
Oh man. But yeah, lately I've been making these things that I call a Dioramas, and the simplest form.
I remember seeing you post about this.
Yeah. This is a representation of it in its simplest form. So a Diorama is basically like a diorama, but it has magnetic modular walls. So if you rotate the walls, it essentially creates a slightly different scene. And so I've been on a kick. I want to make a few more of these type of displays that can fit in like a detolf shelf or something. It's figuring out a fun combination. That's my issue right now. You know what I mean? Because you can only do this so many times without, before you start getting bored and think, okay, what else can I put in there? But in its simplest form, this is a Diorama. So I've been working on that.
That's awesome.
That's really neat.
I know. I think all of us do a sense of. Do toy photography, right? I'm assuming to a level. So
if you're a fan of toy
photography, in honor of our fallen friend, if you're a fan of toy photography, I've got a magazine for you. I don't have the ad read in front of me, but go to toyphotographymag.com, link in the description below, and pre-order the latest issue. And make sure to send your thoughts and prayers to Nate, because he did have to have one of his feet amputated. So he's at home right now reading his toy mag.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know how to follow that.
You're like,
It's,
yeah, like, I don't
hey,
know what to say
I hope
now.
you get a robot foot, bro.
Yeah.
Peg legs are
There's
where it's
people
at.
like, did he just say what?
Besides dioramas, I also like making accessories for my collection to sell. One of the things that I really enjoy, first off, just I want to show you guys
Yes.
this piece, right? Some palettes, they're easy to, to repaint. You can get these at the dollar store. Easy as heck to paint these all nice. Well, what I do
Wait.
is I paint.
You're able to get pallets at the dollar store? Like that thing right there?
Yeah, this at the Dollar General, you can get this for like $1.25. I painted this though, so it came all.
I mean, I love the faded blue, but I didn't know that. I need to go to the dollar store.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Michael's looking up what
opportunity stuff.
right now.
I'm like, is the dollar store still open?
I need to see the second thing.
Yeah, I want to see the destroyed one because that was.
Yeah, let me fix this guy on you so I can have something cool to show you there. So right, like I was saying, you get some, you paint them in pairs, and then the next one, you take your handy dandy hammer to, and then you just super glue it back together.
I was gonna
as
ask
neat
what
as
you
possible.
used because I destroyed one of the ones that Vasco made, and it's just in pieces, and I use it as debris. I should probably like try to do something like that where it's a little more controlled.
That's awesome.
Because that looks dope.
But yeah, so then those are like some easy projects I've been telling myself to make. I've sold a few of them in the past, and that's kind of what is taking up all my time this week. But yeah, that's what I like to do for my collection. I love world building. Like I said, accessories and dioramas, these scenes that take me to a place where I just like to escape to. It's some of the most fun things to do when owning a collection. We're in the Toyfarerapy, right? Toyfarerapy aspect of this. I used to draw all the time, you guys, and then I quit. I got the big sads and I quit drawing, and it started with collecting. And then thinking, oh, it would be neat, like a nice little scene right here. How about an alleyway for my goons to hang out with? And with that one thought, I started crafting. I started painting again. I started expressing myself artistically. These action figures definitely helped me. They weren't the answer to my sadness, but they were definitely a tool to help me express myself in healthy ways. So, yay for action figures being a really good tool for me to help myself.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's relatable because like I feel the same way. Like there's been a few periods where like I hit rough patches and like discovering like action figure photography definitely like it brought back that artistic like excitement that I used to have. Because I'm pretty sure I have carpal tunnel because I used to draw too, but now if I try to draw more than like 10 minutes or so, my hand like starts to like tighten and cramp up, so I can't do it
all
anymore.
That drawing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But so like I feel it, man. Like it's a great artistic like creative release to be able to like find something else that you do and enjoy in that way.
Yeah, it's a fun challenge too. Like I didn't know how to make half these things. Like I made a working guillotine for my action figures.
I'm sorry. What? That's the most Sid from Toy Story shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
Wow. So I posted this challenge on my TikTok for all the crafters out there that followed me. I was like, hey, why don't we make a working guillotine as a fun challenge? And they're like, a guillotine, you couldn't start somewhere else. But
it's like, no, I need to off of their head.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's pretty dope. I feel like I made it big enough for 6 to 7-inch action figures, so that not just my Legends fit on it, but like a McFarlane can fit in it. But I guess I should put my We want to see it in action.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I mean,
I want to see. I want to see.
we came to the show, right? I mean, that
That's awesome. So
that
what
was
is
it.
the
That
what
was
is the
it.
blade like made out of foam or?
It's actually made out of wood. I just
Oh.
painted it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to be like, it's actually a razor blade that I.
Yeah, it's an actual.
That
no,
blood is
someone
actually
painted
because
that.
I accidentally put my finger in the head hole one time and I forgot to tie the knot.
But yeah, like I said, love making accessories. I love challenging myself to make something practical like this, or just to make it. Some people may be thinking, bro, just get a 3D printer. I have one. I
That's fucking
just
expensive
also
either way.
like the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, right? Yeah, it's gonna be expensive either way if you're gonna get something custom made, especially if you have to design it and all that. But yeah, guys, I love this outlet. It's so fun. It's so good.
That is awesome. Like, I'm at loss for words after the guillotine. Not gonna lie, like that was not on my bingo card for the night.
It's man, yeah. So I used my power of hyper focusing one day, and
ADHD for the win.
Exactly right. Woo! I sat in front of my computer for like I think an hour and a half, and I was just writing down ideas, every idea that I could. I put them into one of those, the wheel.
Oh yeah, the
Right,
randomizers for like
Thank
raffles
you,
and
thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
But I remember at the end of that, like my feet were hurting because I didn't leave the computer side. It was really one of those like I can't move. I have to do this. And that was just one of the things that I put in there. I think Bear Trap was another one, a podium, furniture. I think I threw a lot of furniture in there. And just, because like I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having a lot of fun figuring it out. And then if I can't figure out, like I said, I got a 3D printer, so I'm sure I'll find a file.
Exactly. It's like if I can't do it, someone will.
Somebody else. Yeah. I'd say from my advantage or my vantage point, you kind of look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, you made a working guillotine. Like,
yeah,
you'll see a lot of those in the toy groups.
I'm gonna say.
I don't know if I got to share this part, but one of the best ways that I've expressed myself creatively, like my creativity, was through making the Diorama. Right now, I'm sure you guys have one of your favorite IPs in mind. I know that Jarmar likes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I have to say, my first Diorama that I ever made was based off of them. Like the theme was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My friend could not decide what he wanted, but he told me he wanted something from the lair. So I'm looking at pictures. I'm like, well, the dojo and the living room look pretty cool and similar. One of those. It's like, yeah, but which one? I was like, you know what, F it. Why don't I just make both of them? So eventually, what you see over here, let's say the inside right now that you see in here is the first face, right? And then like once you flip everything around, it's the second face. So on the first phase, it was the living room for the turtles. There's a TV, a couch, a carpet, and then an entrance. And then once you flip and rotate all the walls, it was their dojo, because obviously the other side of the walls were decorated differently to where it matched the dojo scene more than anything. But that's one of my favorite things, that I can match two, or combine two themes and then mix and match them. One of my favorite parts about the Diorama, if these were all the same size, you could just stack them together and create an even bigger piece. And that's kind of what I'm trying to save it. I already have like the patent for it. But
I was just about to ask that. I don't know if that was like something that was patent, but that just sounds like it's such like almost one of the like a no-brainer idea, which makes like that's like what makes things great. It's like how did you not think of that? But it sounds so awesome.
But thank you. I do have a patent for it. It's called the Diorama. I've had it for almost a year now. I'm at the I'm at the end of that year where I hold the patent. I'm trying to save this and keep ownership over it, so I can. I'm trying to raise some money so that I can afford the non-provisional patent, which is a 20-year hold over your idea. And also, it's kind of like that's what I feel like. That's when the company that I'm going through will take me more serious, because they're like, oh shit, he went that far, so now we really got to work for him to get this.
To get it going.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm at that state of it, but I do own the patent. I think it's awesome. This idea came out of the necessity to help my friend save money, to give him options, and honestly to save some space too. Because if you have a diorama or two, you know how much space they take up, and that's like realty for your action figures.
Stuff, yeah.
So like, there's that, but I ask you this, like, imagine your favorite IP, like what diorama does your favorite IP need? And like, could you combine it with a different one? I think of the X-Men and the mansion and the danger room. One side's the mansion, the other side's the danger room. Think, like stuff like that. Obviously,
makes me
it's
think of some of the
fun.
stuff in the 90s, like the old play sets and stuff that would do that. Like the Batcave would have like, the door would flip and one side would be like the manor and the other side would be the Batcave kind of stuff. Like that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I heard that 2025 is going to be the year of the dioramas for toys, for toy companies, and I really want it to be, because obviously I'm in that game.
Yeah.
But like, just imagine if NECA released their dioramas and there was a double side to it, and then everything that a diorama has, and you could just stack them. Like, that would have been so awesome to just create this whole sewer layer out of this one piece. But
or even like the city one that they've had for years, like having that like rooftop one be able to flip and the bricks be a different color, or it be like one side has looks a little more beat up, or even having like things that you can attach to the windows like they do for some of their Comic-Con displays. Because like when they did they painted one of them to be a little like grungy and added some stuff on the windows, like barbed wire and boarded up and stuff. And it's like just those little changes that you can make as something that just attaches to it would even be nice to like change up the look of it.
Yeah. It'd be great, man. Like Hasbro, a lot of these companies honestly need some diorama representation. NECA's doing a wonderful job with their diorama elements, or I think is what they call them. Those are great pieces, but I feel like sometimes they just cost a little too much. Like, I don't want to pay that much for a boiler, you know what I mean? It looks great. It's wonderful, and I'm glad that they're breaking into the diorama market, but it's because they're the first ones. They get the cost. They get to pinch us as much as they want.
That's fair.
But
aside
from that,
I got that cat's lair that I haven't even put together yet.
So you've got half a cat's lair back there.
See, I was very impressed by that thing.
The other pieces are in the second box. They came in two boxes. The first box, with no joke, was the size of a refrigerator. I was like, "What?" Yeah. If it was a quarter of an inch bigger, it would not have fit in my car. I couldn't believe how big it was.
That's hilarious.
Dang. Yeah, like that's the dream, man. To have a giant diorama like that be like made by a giant company. Like, I don't know what IPs would do the best with them, but I can tell you that like if there's an IP for it, you can definitely mix and match, because there's always the good and the bad and the extra weird teams on the side.
Yeah.
My jam is all Masters of the Universe. Like, it would be so simple. You could just have like almost the same thing but in different colors. A green castle for Grayskull, and then you rotate it and it's all purple stuff for Snake Mountain.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I love that idea. Thanks for giving me a chance to talk about it. It's really, really like a dream of mine for this to happen. So if anybody out there, and I'm talking to you guys listening, please feel free to donate. I do have a GoFundMe. I'll give the link for him to share. I'm trying to retain ownership of this patent for the next 20 years. So hopefully I keep ownership of it, because it's going to change my life. And I feel like it's going to change the way we play with our action figures if it does get, bought or licensed out. Because I I love this journey that I'm on, but if I end up losing it and it does get bought, I at least know that I'm going to help shape the way that we interact with our action
your
figures.
footprint was on the history of that kind of thing.
Yeah, and honestly, that's how it started. When I came up with the idea, I posted it, forgot about it, and then when I got some steam on TikTok, I reposted it and was like, "Hey, this is what I can come up with. What two things can, or what can you do with it?" So it was always an idea for the community, for the customizers to roll with and to do something with. Yeah, I'm gonna be really happy one way or the other if it gets out there for us.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. Like you said, we'll make sure to have the link for your GoFundMe and all your other links and stuff in the description below.
Much appreciation.
So, with all the things that you've made, the stuff you have, is there anything that you feel your collection is missing? Is there like that one piece that hasn't been made, or you haven't made, or someone hasn't made, that you were like, this needs to be in my collection? There's just not an avenue for it yet.
I didn't know how to answer this question. I didn't know if you were like asking me to like come up with another idea, because I do come up with things like that we need, like the Diorama, and I have others in line.
It could be like, because there's so many companies doing vehicles now, an action figure line, a specific character. It could be a diorama piece. Like there's like, the sky's the limit. Like it's your personal collection. If there's like one thing that you're like, I need this, I just don't, like, it doesn't exist yet, and I need it to exist. Whether it's you making it yourself or having one of the companies like make like one that's factory made, whatever.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. I've seen something like this, but I don't think it's quite out there yet. But I would want a 1/12 scale transformer so that my GI Joes or other action figures can go into it. That's kind of like talking about toys. That's kind of what I would like.
That'd be a big ass Optimus Prime.
Yeah, it would, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be Optimus, but it'd be dope.
But that's just like that was my frame of reference. What, like, this big ass semi, like you're gonna get like a refrigerator box, like
exactly right. Yeah, something like that.
The semi truck.
I gotta say, the ones that they came out with, I was like, when that was announced, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the greatest toy line ever. And when they came out, I'm very disappointed in all of them.
Are you talking about like the Hiss tank that turned into Megatron?
The Hiss tank that turned into Megatron and that stuff. Man, like, I don't know. They parade them like they're collector's items, and you get them, and they feel like they're made for 3-year-olds. It's weird.
Are they maybe like trying to like make it so it's like the old toys?
I don't know what they're doing. All I know is that like I got the first two, and I was like, these aren't for me. These are junk. Like, they are so bad.
Well, those also were 3 3/4, weren't they?
What's that?
Weren't those for 3 3/4?
They were for the 3 3/4. Yeah, the O-ring Joes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. They're just weird to me. It's like they could have been done so much better.
How do you guys feel about those making a comeback, the O-ring action figures?
That's cool, but they're not for me.
Yeah,
like
I'm
like 35th, 25th anniversary guy. So
I'll go get one slowly so I can torture Nate and spin him
That's
in
what
a
I was
helicopter. Just be sitting there, they'll be talking, I'll just wind him up and watch him go.
Man, they did an awesome job when they came up with the Street Fighter O-ring action figures. Do you guys remember those?
Yeah.
Those were a treat.
Nate actually got in a fight about those one time. It's the idea that Street Fighter was in his GI Joes. He doesn't like Street Fighter, but I thought it was awesome.
That was I think those were my gateways into GI Joes. I saw those, and then I started playing with GI Joes. But don't tell Nate that.
Nate just
mad. I put my Street Fighter now in my classifieds shelf.
Nate just gets mad because he is a completionist with some things, so like he feels obligated. Like at that point, well, now I have to get it because it's part of GI Joe, but I don't like it. So like,
Yeah,
right.
Like I can understand to an extent, but yeah, they were kind of cool in my opinion. I think it'd be cool if Hasbro could somehow work the license to make some of those in the classified like style. Like even if it's just like some of the obvious options like Guile or something like that. Like,
yeah. But it's just Jean-Claude.
Oh God, no. Oof, okay.
That'd be a nice action figure to have, a Jean-Claude Van Damme action figure.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be so cool to have a Guile Jean-Claude.
I mean, unless it's an import figure, he wouldn't be able to split anywhere near as much.
Has to do the splits.
Hasbro couldn't do it, so you're gonna be real disappointed.
SH Big Arts is just released the images of their Jackie Chan. What was it, like Hot Shot or
I remember seeing something.
Yeah, I love Jackie Chan. He's the GOAT from back in the day. I think I would like to get that one. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like I was like, I don't think there's a lot of Jackie Chan figures out there. Like
That's
even from back in the day. Like
what?
All the ones that I've seen are really expensive because they're just like high grade, And I'm not paying that much for an action figure, bro. I'd rather get something else if they pay.
Yeah.
Do you remember he had a cartoon? He had a cartoon show.
Yeah, Jackie Chan Adventures was amazing, dude.
That cartoon was so good.
Uncle and
all about
was
that.
it Taru or like what?
What is it? He's saying to do this, and to just smack you. I love that.
He's like, one more thing. Oh man, that show was amazing. All right, so let's get back on track here. So let's say something happens for some reason. Either you lose love for it, or you have to get rid of them for some reason, smaller space, whatever. You have to get rid of everything. What is the one toy line? Like if you're allowed to keep one, you're keeping.
Just one?
Just one toy line.
Just one.
Yeah, it could be something like even if it's something that's like currently out, like you're still allowed to continue collecting it, but like that's it. That's the be all end all. That's all you're allowed to do. And like, something happens and you don't have the option to have all the different properties anymore. You gotta narrow it down to one, and that's your shelf in the corner.
Okay. Oh man, guys, you're gonna think I'm such a basic bitch, but like it's I'm gonna go with Marvel Legends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I feel like that's a fair one. Like,
that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
No, man. I'm sorry. I swear. I'm interesting. I'm an interesting person. I read many leather-bound books. Okay. But it has to be Marvel Legend just because of the representation of the actual people that I grew up reading and stuff. It's not just because it's okay. It's partially because I'm a basic bitch, but other than that, it's because we love the characters.
Plus, I mean, you get a huge variety with that.
That's what
throw down the gauntlet of saying you're only allowed to keep one line. You're like, well, Marvel Legends, because there's like 8 billion of them.
Hey, the rule was just one line. He chose the one that has the most options. That's good for him. That's smart collecting right there.
That's like blanket statement. Star Wars.
At that point, I'd make you choose between Black Series and Vintage Collection.
Oh, Black Series all day. Yeah. In my notes, I actually wrote down Jada as a competitor, but like they just haven't. They're gonna run out of characters. Okay, they're just gonna run out of them. That's it.
We say that now until they get the Marvel license.
Oh my God! Don't tease me, bro. Don't.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Can I do this? Can I do this? The Hawkeye thing. Don't give me hope. Right? Like, bro, I would love for Jada to get Marvel and for them to get Mortal Kombat.
They teased Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat would sound
Mortal Kombat has to happen.
They teased that last year on their story. So
Oh my God.
there's a chance. I think the only thing that might
Oh.
stop him is I don't know if McFarlane still has that license or not. Because I know they haven't done anything with it
No.
for a while. Is McFarlane's
No.
done with it?
Yeah, they're done.
Then
I
yeah,
like to see him just do all fighting games, or get a variety, so I can get like some Tekken representation without spending a crazy amount of money. That'd be cool.
Right.
Dude, what I want Hasbro just to come out with more classifieds figures, like same molds, but just all of like the Stars teams from Resident Evil, like just repaint them all.
Oh.
Dude, I just got the Airborne figure, and I was like, this is Chris Redfield. It is so much like Chris Redfield. It's just like I'm like, I could paint this and make a Chris Redfield.
how cool would it be if they did get the Resident Evil license and then you could just army build zombies?
They
Yeah.
need zombies. Oh
Like
my God.
Resident Evil just
Hasbro.
like they like Jada does like a couple different versions of different zombies, and you can just like army build and just have a zombie horde that's like fully articulated, great sculpts, moderately inexpensive. Like that'd be so cool.
I think it would sell like crazy. I really do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, zombies are definitely a definite need. What are you guys' favorite army builds? Mine is droids from Star Wars. Those are like my favorite things to army build.
Makes sense.
Mine is Utrambots from the NECA Mirage line.
Huh? What?
the NECA TMNT Mirage figures.
Oh, the white
yeah.
ones.
The
Okay, yeah.
Utrams were like before they were known as Krang. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Those are dope
really-
looking.
I don't army build that much, but I do manage to I always try to get like 2 of the troopers in classifieds just because like they just look so good. Like the bat was just when that was out on toy shelves, it was like I walked past the second one and I was like, I can't just leave this here. Like I have to get it.
Right.
And
Okay.
same. I don't really army build, but I do buy the same turtles over and over and over again. So
Say he's got the
Oh,
four
that-
brothers. He's got an army of the 4 brothers in every universe.
That's
that
what's up.
counts.
I feel like Ninja Turtles has like the most selection of variants for action figure lines,
yeah.
either them or Motu. But yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
I think Turtles may take the cake just because they have
So
so many
many.
different versions of themselves within like the IP between the different comics, the different shows, the different movies, and then they also have just the random shit that they've made into figures on top of that. And I feel like He-Man will go through and like reinvent itself a lot, but usually it kind of still stays within its lane. Like they don't.
Yeah. Like Ninja Turtles has like a crazy advantage because they've been able to reinvent themselves and just keep
Time over
doing
time.
over and over and over. And it was just like blockbuster.
And
You know,
He-Man's been wearing
for
the
a long
same
time.
fur kilt for 30 years.
Right.
Also, license holders are like Nickelodeon's like
But yeah,
we
Nickelodeon's
will
like, and you get a
literally
turtle.
anyone. If you are interested in making a toy line, you can start with turtles. Like
They've got Kevin Eastman out there on the
Right,
corner
right.
turning tricks to get more people to buy that license.
I looked it up just the other day because Turtles, like everybody that I work with is like way older than me, and they, I'm in printing, and I think I shared this on my Toyfarerapy about how
That was like a year ago. I don't remember.
I know I can't remember, but long story short, Ninja Turtles is also like the ultimate like printing success. Like those guys printed
Okay, sweet.
so I went into printing because of that. We had a vocational thing in high school, and I ran an AB Dick, the same type of printer that they ran the original run of Ninja Turtles on. So that's why I fell in love with Ninja Turtles back then. But I'm getting off track. So like, I was looking it up. They sold that to Nickelodeon for only $60 million. Doesn't that sound cheap as fuck for Ninja Turtles?
like the license.
I mean,
Yeah.
keep
The
in mind
light-
when they did that, that was probably in the
That
kind
was
of
like
post.
2013 or
I'd
12.
say it was in the post, like, you
Huh.
know, hype.
Little, like, dip.
I feel like the height of Ninja Turtles kind of like peaked and came down a little bit once you got past like 2003.
Yeah.
And
guess.
so it probably was one of those things where they weren't doing a lot with it. So like $60 million was
million.
especially 20 years ago, $60 million. Boy, oh boy, that probably went a lot further. And it's not like
I don't know. It just seemed cheap to me.
And let's face it, like Peter Laird, he's probably he doesn't seem like a guy who's like into extravagant cars and stuff. So he's set for life. And he's still working with like the comic book stuff. And then Eastman is working with every aspect of it. So I feel like
he's kind of broke, I think.
He's like,
he is the extravagant life. He's spent all that money, and he's just like, "Hey, do you guys need me to come sign some stuff or come tease some stuff on a live stream?"
On the Toys That Made Us, when he was like, "With my first paycheck, I bought a tank."
Like, yeah, I'm like that is
dude, why?
That pretty much solidifies his MO.
Yeah,
he was married to Julie Strain, so hats off to him.
Oh. Didn't know that. Damn.
All right, so we talked about your, what toy line you'd keep if you had to get rid of everything else. So what would you say is the centerpiece, like the pinnacle of your collection, like the one thing that you look at and like that is it, that is the like end all be all, the best thing I have, in my opinion, like the thing that you're so proud of?
Oh man.
Sorry, I'm throwing you a curveball there. That one wasn't on the list.
Yeah, a little bit. I have two pieces. One of them is more of a sentimental, valued one. And you're gonna be like, that thing? Oh, why? But
he's gonna show us Robert Kopp.
Robert Kopp.
Oh, is that the Toy Biz?
Yeah. Toy Biz Punisher.
That's dope.
I love that.
Right, it's a great figure. It's great representation. It looks like it just popped out of the comic book Warzone. The articulation on it was great. Toy Biz, I think this is probably like my favorite Punisher to this day. I haven't bought the new one that Havsor just came out with, but it's still my favorite. And I've had this since I was a kid. So this is like the one, like maybe 3 other toys survived all of the yard sales that my mom did when I was out of the house, So like just because it survived all of that, this is probably my favorite one.
The sculpt is just top tier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I have more expensive figures around here, but
I don't think it's always about what's expensive. I think it's about that thing that like, you either have the most like sentimental attachment to, like it has a story behind it in some way, shape, or form, or it's just that one thing that like you've always wanted and you finally got, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like it could be whatever you want. Like if someone's like, oh no, it's the thing that costs the most money. Like if that's what's important to you, great. But I just feel like, in my mind, it's what thing has the most story and meaning to you, is the way I look at it. So I get it.
You get it. Yeah, you get it. But yeah, it's my Punisher. My Toy Biz Punisher is probably my favorite piece. I still play with it to this day. So, yeah.
That is awesome. I wish I still had some of my Toy Biz stuff. Like, unfortunately, that all got, like you said, yard saled or sold elsewhere throughout the like years and stuff like that.
Yeah, my collection did not survive my mom's wrath. So. See, one for the homies, I guess.
Yeah, I feel my mom. See, my mom took it a step further. She made me sell my stuff at a yard sale. She'd be like, "If you want more stuff, you need to sell stuff to be able to pay for that other stuff." Like, so
it's
in
like
her mind, she was
to throw a dog down. No way.
Did we do a Toyfarerapy for you?
No, but me and Nate did a Patreon exclusive episode by ourselves while you guys weren't there, where we got into some normal therapy with each other, where we discussed like some shit that our parents did that shaped the way we collect, because it 100% like
all makes sense.
Yeah. But that was like her mentality. She was trying to teach me like the value of $1. Like obviously, for what you're as a kid, what you're selling your stuff for in a yard sale, you ain't gonna have enough. But like the idea was like she was teaching me like if you want more, you can't just keep hoarding more. You have to get rid of stuff to get new stuff. So like it'd be like I'd sell some stuff and I get to go get new toys. So it was like yes, yeah. Looking at your backdrop there, I get it, Corey.
Look who's wrong now, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
can stop anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not addiction. I just choose to do this. All
me
right.
borrow
Speaking of
$20.
sales, I remember being so proud of selling all of my Power Ranger Zords at a yard sale, because I was like, I was out of Power Rangers and I sold them all, and I remember I probably sold them for like $50.
each.
Like I had a ton of them, and I was just like so ecstatic that I got that $50, and I'm like, you stupid little boy. It was-
Like
This is
$50
where-
only then buy one of the new ones, let
Yeah.
alone.
yeah,
And
You can barely afford
What it
2
would be
Power
worth,
Rangers for that much.
dude, before the re-releases, you could have sold that Titus and Dragon Zord for so much money.
oh my god. Oh, those were always fun too.
Yeah. On that note, though, we are going to close it out for this wonderful session of Toyfarerapy. As always, thank you, Tavin, for coming and sitting on the couch with us and chit-chatting. We appreciate you. You can check us out over on Instagram, Bluesky, TikTok, all that stuff, at Modern Toyfare. Links in the description below. You can check Jarmar over on Only Toes with Nate at Jarmar_games and Nate. Corey, where can everyone find you?
You can find my wish list on Amazon Prime. No, just the good old Facebook and Instagram. Gotta love those. At Vile Consumption.
Awesome. Links will be in the
I
description.
feel like you were gonna say something.
I thought he
else.
was too, because usually he has a lot more than that, and then he has stopped. I'm like, all right, that was an awkward pause. Links in the description
Dude, we
for
did
that.
show really late.
Links in the description for all that below. Tavin, let everybody know what you got.
What's up, everyone? Tavin the Caveman. You can find me on all socials under Tavin the Caveman. I mean, you can at me at all socials at Tavin the Caveman, or look for me as Cave Art Adventures on all socials. Please consider donating to my GoFundMe. I'm trying to retain the 20-year patent over my Diorama idea. I'm very excited, very nervous about it. You guys, that's basically it. That's where you can find me. I'm on the internet everywhere, under everything. Help me out, guys. This is for us. I really want to make this stream happen. Not just for me, but like I said, one for the nerds. You know what I mean?
One for the nerds. I like it. We'll make sure to have all the links, including your GoFundMe, in the description below. So make sure to check those out. We greatly appreciate you and everyone watching. Hopefully we see you next time. Same toy time, same Toyfare channel. Thank you for watching.
I gotta go find the homies.
He had to deal with you all the time, so he was just like, well, time to
Now
move
you're
on.
stuck. You're my
No.
new pound puppy now.
I'm the pound puppy. Oh, I hope that's not trending on this show.
Oh, but it is. Already hashtagging right now.
Sounds like someone's already earned their first